Meghan Markle has done it again, but this time, even her most loyal fans are left speechless, confused, and questioning everything they thought they knew about the Duchess of Sussex. A new, unfiltered video of Meghan has just surfaced online, and it's spreading like wildfire. But what's in this video? Why is everyone from Buckingham Palace to Hollywood buzzing with whispers, gasps, and pure disbelief? The answer is more outrageous than you could imagine. In this jaw-dropping footage, Meghan isn't just speaking her truth, she's shouting it in a way no one expected. There are no rehearsed lines, no polished smiles, and absolutely zero filters. This is the raw, emotional, and brutally honest Meghan the public has never seen before. Sources close to the royal rebel say the video was never meant to be made public, yet here it is leaked, loud, and laced with drama. And what she says in it, let's just say, it's a direct hit to the very heart of the royal family. From exposing new behind-the-scenes secrets to making wild, unverified claims about betrayal, manipulation, and being silenced, Meghan's words have left even Prince Harry reportedly shaken and blindsided. And that's not all just. Wait until you hear what she accuses Kate of doing. The backlash has already begun. British tabloids are calling it the most shocking royal scandal of the decade, and social media is on fire with hashtags like #MeghanExposed and #DuchessUnhinged. Even Meghan's celebrity friends, some who once stood by her side, are reportedly distancing themselves, with insiders claiming she's crossed a line, and she knows it. But why now? What triggered Meghan to unleash this firestorm? Is this her final goodbye or a calculated move in a much bigger plan? Whatever the truth is, one thing is crystal clear. This video changes everything. And whether you love her or loathe her, you won't be able to look away. This is not just another royal drama. This is Meghan Markle, like you've never seen her. Before, unfiltered, unapologetic, and completely unpredictable. So buckle up, because we're about to dive headfirst into the chaos, the confessions, and the royal war zone Meghan has just ignited. This is not a drill. Meghan Markle's world was already no stranger to controversy, but no one, not even her inner circle, was prepared for what came next. The leaked video wasn't a polished interview or a carefully curated documentary, it was a raw, unedited clip that felt more like a confession and a declaration of war rolled into one. Meghan, seated alone in a dimly lit room with nothing but her phone camera and her unfiltered truth, spoke for 47 minutes straight, tears brimming in her eyes, voice cracking, yet unwavering in conviction. It didn't look like something scripted. It looked like a woman on the edge, fed up, fed into, and finally done holding back. The footage began with a long silence before she leaned in, looked directly into the lens, and whispered, "I never thought I'd be saying this, but they made me." That was all it took. From that moment, social media erupted into chaos. Fans flooded comment sections with disbelief, while royal watchers speculated endlessly. Who is they? What did they make her do? And then, she dropped bombshell after bombshell. She claimed her entire royal exit wasn't a decision made in unity with Harry, but one forced upon her by what she referred to as quiet threats coming from inside the palace. "They told me either I leave or I'd be erased," she said, eyes red, voice trembling. She didn't name names at first, but the implication was loud and clear. The veiled references to someone in the firm orchestrating a campaign to isolate her became the fuel for a frenzy of speculation. It wasn't long before Meghan shifted from emotional to furious. Do you know what it feels like to be used as a shield? To smile while you're being destroyed from within? "I played their game for as long as I could." Her words were bitter, loaded, and more revealing than any official interview she'd given before. And just when the viewers thought they'd heard enough, Meghan dropped a name: Camilla. According to Meghan, the Queen Consort had been managing narratives behind the scenes, making sure Meghan was the scapegoat in every royal feud, keeping Kate's name sparkling clean while Meghan's was dragged through the mud. "I was painted as the villain so she could rise as the peacemaker," Meghan hissed, glaring into the camera. She knew exactly what she was doing. Fans were stunned. Never before had Meghan been this direct. And what about Harry? Meghan revealed that their marriage had suffered immense pressure since their departure, hinting that trust between them had been broken. "He didn't believe me at first," she confessed. "He thought I was being dramatic until he read the emails." What emails? That's when things took an even darker turn. Meghan claimed she discovered communication sent between certain royal aides and media contacts that confirmed there was a strategy to slowly push her out and paint her as mentally unstable. "They wanted to discredit me before I ever had a chance to speak." And who, according to Meghan, was one of the primary figures helping circulate the smears? Kate Middleton. "I tried with her. I begged her. I thought we could be allies," Meghan said, "but she chose her image over me." Over truth, fans couldn't believe what they were hearing. Meghan wasn't just calling out vague forces, she was naming the future Queen of England. Twitter exploded. Hashtags like #Meghan Unmasked, #Royal Crisis, and #Kate vs Meghan dominated the trending page for days. Royal experts were in a frenzy. Palace officials reportedly held emergency media meetings as damage control. Yet Meghan's video was already out in the wild and no amount of PR could put the genie back in the bottle. Behind the scenes, things were no calmer. A close source inside the Montecito compound said Harry was blindsided by the leak. He didn't know she had filmed it. He found out like the rest of the world when the internet exploded. And while Harry was reportedly supportive of Meghan's pain, insiders say he is also incredibly anxious about what this means for their fragile ties with the royal family. "This could be the final nail in the coffin," said one commentator on a viral TikTok dissecting the video and the royal family's reaction. Silence, absolute silence, no statement. No rebuttal, nothing. That silence only fueled more speculation. Were they stunned? Were they scrambling? Were they guilty? Then came the unexpected twist. Just hours after the video went viral, a second video began circulating, this time a grainy clip from what appeared to be inside a royal estate. The footage, though unclear, showed two women arguing. One of them, believed to be Kate, appeared visibly distressed. "I told her not to," the woman could be heard saying. "This is going to ruin everything. The timing was too perfect to be a coincidence." Fans quickly concluded that the clip had been leaked in response to Meghan's video, perhaps from a palace staffer, perhaps from someone else trying to expose the chaos inside the monarchy. Whatever the case, the effect was nuclear. Talk shows around the globe picked it apart. Pundits screamed across each other trying to guess the full truth. Meghan loyalists said she was finally standing up for herself. Royalists called her manipulative and dramatic. But amid all the noise, one thing was clear. Meghan's video had done what few could ever imagine. It had cracked open the polished exterior of the royal family, revealing the messy, complicated fractures behind the curtain. And then, just when you thought it couldn't get any more intense, Meghan said something no one was prepared for. She leaned back, wiped her tears, looked back at the lens, and said, "And you haven't even heard the worst part yet?" And with that one line, the internet broke. Comments flooded in within seconds. What else is there? This is madness. Is she talking about King Charles? Rumors sparked immediately. Some believed she was about to expose something connected to Diana. Others suspected she might even have receipts tied to Prince Andrew's scandals. The tension was unbearable and Meghan's words echoed louder than ever. "You haven't even heard the worst part yet." That's when the video cut to black. No ending, no explanation, just silence. The world waited, breath held, for the next drop. And Meghan, she had vanished from public view entirely. No statement, no clarification, not even a repost. Which only made people ask, was it really leaked or part of something even bigger? What followed next was pure digital mayhem, within hours of Meghan's video ending. With that cryptic cliffhanger, online communities ignited with speculation. Reddit threads dissected every second of the footage. TikTok creators released frame-by-frame breakdowns, zooming in on her facial expressions, the room's background, even the reflection in her eyes to guess where she had filmed it and who else might have been there. Some claim to have spotted what looked like a shadow moving behind her in the background. Conspiracy theories erupted. Was Harry present during the recording, silently watching? Was someone else coaching her? Or worse, was Meghan in danger, and this was a coded cry for help? Amidst this chaos, media outlets scrambled for clarification. But Meghan's team issued no response. The silence was deafening. Even Omid Scobie, often seen as sympathetic to Meghan's narrative, tweeted only a cryptic "sometimes silence is its own message." That tweet alone got over 1.3 million views in less than 24 hours. Then came the next earthquake. An anonymous account posted a short, 10-second teaser with the caption, "Part 2 Midnight." In it, Meghan's voice could be heard saying, "They don't want you to know who he really is." That was it. But that one sentence was enough to blow the lid off everything. Who was he? Harry, King Charles, William. Online sleuths began pulling receipts from every past scandal, every buried tabloid headline, every awkward royal appearance. Twitter spaces were held with thousands tuning in to discuss it in real time. News anchors on American morning shows hesitantly addressed the saga, while British anchors looked visibly rattled. The royals had faced scandals before, but never something so uncontrolled, so unpredictable. For the first time, they didn't control the narrative. Meghan did. As midnight approached, a sense of dread and excitement washed over the internet. People set alarms, YouTubers scheduled live streams. Then finally it dropped. A second video, shorter, yes, but even more explosive. Meghan sat in the same room, though now the lighting was harsher, as if she had given up even trying to soften. The moment, she didn't cry this time. She looked angry, resigned. "You want to know who he really is," she said, looking dead into the camera. "I'll tell you who he is. He's someone who smiled at me every day. Well, he was plotting how to ruin me from the inside." Her voice was low, calm, chilling. "He made me believe I was safe. He told me we were family, and all the while, he was feeding stories to the press to watch me fall." The comment sections exploded. "She's talking about Prince William." There was no doubt anymore. Meghan didn't name him directly, but she didn't have to. The tension between William and Harry had already been headline fodder for years. Now Meghan was suggesting that William, the future king, had not only been involved but instrumental in orchestrating her public takedown. "He's not who you think he is," Meghan continued, "and neither is she." That she, again, pointed squarely at Kate. Meghan then opened her phone on camera and scrolled through dozens of messages. She didn't show the screen clearly, but she let the audio play. Voicemails, some angry, some manipulative, some heartbreakingly cold. "Why are you doing this to us?" one female voice said. "Think of the crown, Meghan. We trusted you." Fans immediately speculated. Was that Camilla? Was it Kate? The voice was distorted but had an unmistakably posh accent. "They said I was breaking protocol," Meghan added. "But the truth is, they were breaking me." Then came another wild twist: screenshots. Meghan showed blurred glimpses of emails from an unknown address signed only with initials. "These were sent to me in 2019, she said, and they prove everything." The screenshots weren't fully legible, but words like narrative, damage control, and reputation sacrifice could be spotted. It was enough to convince many that what Meghan had faced was far darker and more coordinated than previously believed. The second video ended with Meghan saying just 6 words. "Now ask yourself who's really lying." That was it. Fade to black. No credits. No call to action. No branding. Just silence again. But the storm had already been unleashed. For the first time in years, Meghan wasn't reacting to the royal family's moves, they were reacting to hers. Insiders claimed William was livid, with one palace aide quoted anonymously saying, "There are things you just don't say." She said them. Meanwhile, Harry was reportedly torn. Friends said he had no idea Meghan had the voicemails or the emails. She kept them secret, a source said, even from him. But why? Here's where the plot took another sharp left turn. An ex-palace staffer who had worked in communications during Meghan and Harry's final year in the UK stepped forward anonymously to a US gossip blog with a bombshell of their own. Meghan was warned, the source claimed. She was told not to keep a record, but she did because she didn't trust them. Not even Harry fully understood how much she'd been holding back. The blog post quickly went viral, claiming that Meghan had built what she once referred to as a vault of receipts, documents, audio, emails, all supposedly proving how she was manipulated and betrayed. But perhaps the most shocking part was still to come. Just hours after that blog post, another source leaked that Meghan had reached out to Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie weeks before the video ever dropped. Why, according to insiders, Meghan wanted to warn them about what was coming. She told them, "You're not safe either." Eugenie, known to have remained somewhat close to Harry even post-Megxit, allegedly begged Meghan to reconsider. "Think about Archie and Lily," she reportedly said. "Don't burn it all down." But Meghan, according to the source, replied, "It's already in flames. I'm just showing the world who lit the match." Those words haunted everyone. Who heard them? The media spun it as Meghan declaring all-out war on the royal family. Royalists accused her of being vindictive, but others, especially in America, saw her as brave, finally reclaiming her voice in a system that tried to silence her. Meanwhile, King Charles reportedly called an emergency summit with his top advisors. "He's furious," one royal correspondent said on live TV, but also afraid of what else she might have. Because if Meghan had emails and voicemails, what else could be in that vault? And right when the world was still reeling from these shocking revelations, yet another twist was brewing, one that would not only shake the monarchy but threaten to change the royal legacy itself forever. As the media firestorm intensified, Meghan Markle's silence between the videos only fueled the mystery. Days passed without any comment from her team. No posts, no clarifications, nothing. But behind the scenes, whispers of a third drop had begun circulating among tabloid insiders and Hollywood PR circles. Rumors claimed that Meghan wasn't done, far from it. In fact, insiders alleged that she had prepared a series of revelations long before the first video was ever leaked. This wasn't impulsive, one anonymous industry source claimed. This was strategic. She's had this material for years. She's been waiting for the right time to drop it all, and apparently, that time was now. Then, just as the frenzy started to plateau, it happened again. A cryptic Instagram story appeared on a private account that fans quickly linked to a former member of Meghan's inner circle. The story had only one sentence, written in plain black font. "The world thinks they know about the necklace, but they don't." Within hours, #NecklaceGate was trending. No one had any idea what it meant, but they were hooked. That's when royal historians began chiming in. One expert noted that Meghan had worn a specific necklace during her last official engagement as a senior royal, a delicate gold piece with an emerald stone, a gift reportedly given to her by Princess Diana's sister, Lady Sarah McCorquodale. It was meant to symbolize protection, the historian said, and now it seems that necklace may hold more than just sentimental value. The next night, without warning or promotion, the third video dropped. It began not with Meghan, but with silent footage of her walking alone through a garden. She wore the necklace. A caption faded in. "The truth has always been right here." The screen cut to black and then slowly revealed Meghan sitting indoors once again, but this time surrounded by 5 literal piles of paper, envelopes, binders. It was a visual statement. She had receipts. "They thought I'd stay quiet," she began, her voice calm, cold, and deliberate. But they underestimated how much I kept." Then, holding up a handwritten note, she added, "This is from someone who was in the room when the deal was made, the deal to get rid of me." What followed was a whirlwind of claims that left the public stunned and the monarchy reportedly in full-blown crisis mode. Meghan alleged that before her and Harry's official departure, a meeting had taken place involving 3 senior royals' names redacted in the video but with initials blurred just enough for fans to decode: W, C, and KP. According to Meghan, this meeting resulted in a media buffer strategy designed to feed select tabloids negative stories about her in exchange for protection over another member of the royal family, specifically Prince Andrew. "They needed a distraction," Meghan said, "and I became it." This was no longer just a family feud, this was a scandal with global implications. Across social platforms, people were outraged. If what Meghan claimed was true, then the royal family had knowingly traded her public image for silence over far darker matters. She's implying that she was sacrificed to shield someone accused of crimes, one legal expert said during a CNN panel. "If this is real, if there's proof, this is catastrophic for the monarchy." The palace refused to respond, but others did. Celebrities who had once supported Meghan cautiously re-entered the conversation. Serena Williams tweeted, "It's time to protect truth-tellers, no matter the crown." Beyoncé posted a cryptic Instagram quote, "The truth is like a lion. Let it loose, and it will defend itself." But not everyone rallied behind Meghan. British tabloids went into overdrive, calling her delusional, vindictive, and manipulative. Some called for legal action, others demanded she be stripped of any remaining titles. But Meghan remained unfazed. In the video, she calmly opened a file and showed a heavily redacted email exchange from 2020. While names were blacked out, words like trade-off, media diversion, and secondary target were clearly visible. "This is what happens when you become inconvenient," Meghan said. "When you refuse to play the game, they turn you into the game." But then, the wildest twist yet dropped. Meghan held up a flash drive. "This," she said, "contains a private conversation recorded by accident. But when I heard what was on it, I knew I had to keep it." The screen cut to black, a muffled recording began to play. The voices were unclear, distorted, but they were undeniably royal. Two men, one older, one younger, discussing damage control and neutralizing the narrative. "She won't be a problem for much longer," one of them said. "The Americans will eat her alive. Let her go home to Hollywood." The second man replied, "Good, then we can rebuild the image of the monarchy without distractions." The internet lost its mind. Everyone from bloggers to political commentators jumped in. If Meghan had audio proof of this kind of conversation, the implications were massive. Was the monarchy actively conspiring to let Meghan be destroyed by public opinion? Were they betting on her failure in the US? The flash drive became a symbol of truth, betrayal, and royal rot. It was even nicknamed the Crown Killer by TikTok influencers. Meanwhile, Harry's reaction was finally leaked to the press. Sources close to him say he was devastated and completely blindsided by Meghan's flash drive reveal. He didn't know that conversation existed, the insider claimed. He didn't know she had been recording anything. This led to a massive internal crisis for the couple. According to a friend who spoke anonymously, Harry confronted Meghan, asking why she had kept so much from him. Meghan reportedly replied, "Because I needed to survive. And I didn't know if you'd still be with me once you knew the truth." The heartbreak was real, and now, even their marriage seemed to hang in the balance. The same press that once speculated about a royal wedding now speculated about a royal divorce. One outlet wrote, "The Sussexes may not survive the truth they unleashed, but others saw it differently. She protected him," said a viral TikTok voiceover. "She carried it all alone. And now the world knows why." Then, in one last moment that no one expected, Meghan addressed the Queen directly. Looking into the camera with unwavering focus, she said, "You once told me duty above self. I understand now. My duty is to the truth. Even if it means burning every lie you built." That line sent chills across the internet. For many, it confirmed this wasn't just a celebrity drama, this was a full-on royal reckoning. And yet, as shocking as all this had been, Meghan still hadn't revealed what was inside the vault. The fourth video was coming, and if what Meghan had said was true, it would destroy everything. The final installment of Meghan Markle's explosive video series didn't begin with words. It began with silence. A slow fade-in from black revealed her seated in a room we hadn't seen before, brighter, grander, and unmistakably symbolic. The camera panned wide, catching details fans would immediately latch onto: a framed photo of Princess Diana on the table beside her, a stack of notebooks labeled with years 2016 through 2023, and resting between her palms was that now infamous emerald necklace. Glinting under the soft lights like a quiet warning, Meghan took a deep breath. Then she spoke. "This is the last time I will speak about this, not because I'm afraid, but because there's nothing left to hide." She reached for the topmost notebook and opened it. Inside were pages filled with her own handwriting, her thoughts, dates, phone call transcripts, and printed emails, some highlighted, others underlined in red ink. "I started keeping records when I realized no one was going to protect me," she said. "Not the palace, not the press, not even my own husband at times." That admission, Harry, again sent another shockwave through the fandom. Meghan was no longer painting a picture of unity. She was painting one of survival, loneliness, and calculated betrayal, even within her own home. "I needed to survive, and survival sometimes looks like secrecy." She then lifted one of the notebooks and said, "April 7, 2020. According to Meghan, this was the date of a secret meeting between Harry and Prince William, arranged without her knowledge. They met in London. I found out later from someone who was there," she said. "Harry told me they discussed a path for reconciliation. What he didn't tell me was that part of the discussion included me stepping away completely." Her voice cracked as she added, "They wanted me gone, not just from the UK, from his life, for the good of the crown." The camera zoomed in on a page showing a bulleted list labeled Meghan conditions, with phrases like "no memoir," "no press tour," and "no Oprah" scribbled next to them. "They tried to make me a condition," she whispered. "Like I was an error to be erased." By now, the world was riveted. The term Meghan conditions trended globally, even catching the attention of lawmakers and human rights organizations. Was this just royal drama or institutional abuse masked in PR language? Meghan wasn't finished. She reached for a USB and inserted it into her laptop. On screen appeared a grid of files, dozens of video thumbnails, many from surveillance-style footage and screen recordings. She clicked one. The video showed a posh royal corridor. And in the footage, Prince Charles, now King Charles, could be seen speaking to a senior advisor. "If she doesn't leave on her own, we'll have to create an exit for her," he said. Meghan paused the clip and stared into the camera. "They made my exit look like a choice. It wasn't." The next clip revealed something even more gut-wrenching: a conversation between two aides discussing Meghan's mental health. "Just let her spiral. The press will do the rest," one aide said. Meghan pressed pause again. "They didn't want me stable," she said, tears now in her eyes. "They wanted me broken. They wanted me gone so they could keep the institution untouched." By this point, the outrage was global. Mental health advocates, celebrities, and even heads of state began speaking out. #ProtectBlackWomen surged. Oprah, without naming Meghan directly, tweeted, "Silence isn't peace. Truth isn't betrayal." And still, Meghan pressed forward. The next section of her video featured something no one expected: a letter handwritten by Queen Elizabeth II. "This was the last letter she ever sent me," Meghan revealed, holding up the delicate, cream-colored stationery. The letter, dated just months before the Queen's death, offered a soft, cryptic message. In time, they will see the truth. Until then, protect your children and your peace. Meghan's hands shook as she read it. She knew Meghan said she knew what was being done, and she couldn't stop it. The revelation was a game changer. Until that moment, Meghan had only hinted at division within the monarchy. Now, she was implying that the Queen herself had subtly acknowledged the wrongdoing and left Meghan with a warning veiled in royal politeness. The reaction to the Queen's letter was volcanic. Royal historians debated its authenticity. Buckingham Palace declined to comment again, but former palace staffers began stepping forward, leaking minor confirmations that lent credibility to Meghan's claims. One even wrote anonymously, "I saw the letter. It was real, and it terrified everyone who knew about it." That letter alone ignited a tidal wave of questions. Was the Queen quietly trying to atone? Did she, in her final months, try to course-correct the legacy she'd leave behind? The most intense moment came near the end of the video, when Meghan turned the camera on herself, setting the frame wide to show her children, Archie and Lilibet, playing softly in the background. "Everything I've done for them," she said. So they'd never have to question their worth. So they'd never have to wonder why the world hated their mother so much. She paused, then added, "I didn't destroy the monarchy, I exposed it." She closed the laptop, stood up, and said, "Let history decide the rest." The screen faded to black for a long, heavy pause. Then, in white letters, one final message appeared. "This is not the end. This is the beginning of something honest." The video ended, but the fallout had just begun. International news outlets called it the day the monarchy broke. Parliament members debated the future of the institution. Public protests erupted outside Buckingham Palace, some calling for Meghan's justice, others accusing her of treason. Harry, caught in the eye of the storm, reportedly left their Montecito estate and was in seclusion. A royal aide finally broke the silence in a now-deleted tweet. "The crown is bleeding, and we don't know how to stop it." But for the millions watching around the globe, Meghan Markle had already done what no outsider or insider had ever dared. She cracked the monarchy's illusion wide open and made the world listen. And whether you believed her or not, you couldn't look away. And just like that, the story that started as whispers in the palace corridors exploded into a full-blown international reckoning, one that shook not just the monarchy, but the very idea of silence, power, and truth. Meghan Markle's series of unfiltered, unscripted videos didn't just disrupt royal tradition, they shattered the illusion of a united front. She came forward not with polished interviews or Netflix contracts, but with files, audio, and words that cut like a blade through centuries of royal secrecy. And whether you see her as a courageous truth-teller or a dangerous disruptor, one thing is undeniable: she changed the game forever. Now the world is left asking, what happens next? Will Prince Harry speak out? Can the royal family ever recover from this? Will the monarchy adapt, or will it crumble under the weight of its own carefully constructed lies? And perhaps the most burning question of all, what else does Meghan know? And is she still holding back? We want to hear what you think. Do you believe Meghan's story? Was she betrayed and silenced, or is there more to the tale than we're being told? Was this a power move or a cry for help? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that like button if you think it's finally time to hear all sides of the story. And if you want more breaking updates on this royal saga, and trust us, it's far from over, make sure you subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a moment. This is the drama no one saw coming, and it's only just begun. Until next time, stay curious, stay bold, and keep questioning the stories they don't want you to hear.